Coach, do you feel Rylie's starting to get a little more comfortable with some of the stuff he might have been uncomfortable with week 2, week 3?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, we've really kind of, just offensively overall, and him in particular, I think, over the course of the last couple of weeks, really, it started to really kind of kick in and click, and our consistency's gotten a lot better, and obviously everything starts with the quarterback because he touches the ball every snap. So I think his comfort level continues to grow, and everybody around him, I think, continues to grow. So it's moving in a positive direction.
And then what's kind of allowed Chris Mitchell to stay engaged despite maybe not getting as many touches as he would like?
Yeah, I mean, I think Chris is like a lot of our guys. I mean, he's a team glory guy. He's working every day to make sure when his opportunities do present themselves, he's ready to roll. But he's all in with the success of our football team, and I think that's shared by all the people around him as well, and that's what makes a good locker room.
And then a little off topic, just in the recruiting process, when you're evaluating a quarterback as a freshman or sophomore, are there any specific traits you're looking for at that age to kind of sell you on their development could pay off down the line?
I think more than anything, the younger the players are, I think it's really important to try to see them in person, whether that's getting to where they are or getting them on campus, so you get kind of an in-person evaluation of them. Obviously, getting them on campus is ideal. That way you can also sit down and kind of have a conversation with them about where they're at from a football knowledge standpoint, how much growing they have to do, both in what they're doing as far as, mechanically throwing the ball and stuff, and as well as what they know about the game.
Rylie talked about, obviously we know that Rylie is more comfortable in the offense. He also talked about during the bye week, he was able to kind of relax and look at the offense and say, I'm just going to go out there and throw the ball. So is it a balance of confidence and comfortability with the offense?
Oh, sure. I think 100%, right? I mean, I think people underestimate how much him missing 15 practices in the spring really had an impact on kind of how we started the season. And, I think about, we're playing Georgia Tech this week, and I think back all the way to week 1 and even in fall camp, in the comparison to where I feel like we're headed and where we were at that time. And, I see a lot of positive direction in the movement that this whole offensive unit's doing.
When you look at this Georgia Tech, just on the offensive side of the ball, do you see some similarities in what they do as far as Haynes King and he and Rylie kind of have that dynamic run game after their passing game as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some similarities between it. I think there's similarities also between them and a common opponent that we had in Texas A&M. Obviously, the defensive coordinator from Georgia Tech was at Duke a year ago as the defensive coordinator. So I think offensive style-wise, I know they believe in their run game as much as we believe in ours, and that's a big piece of what we do.
Speaking of the run game, the decision to not have Jeremiah Love out there with a touch in the first quarter against Stanford, how do you feel like that? What was the game plan there? How do you feel like it paid off down the line?
I don't know if there was any plan not to have him out there in certain situations. There's always a plan to make sure our best players are on the field. But we do, we have a rotation with the backs that they stick pretty much to. And, nobody understands that more than Jeremiah. And he's ready every time he gets an opportunity and does an unbelievable job with it. And we're happy he's on our team, that's for sure.
Kind of a more two-part question. When you look at this, what do you see in this Georgia Tech defense? I don't know if you have been able to pinpoint what type of team they are outside of the run game. They kind of been all over the board as far as their first 7 matches of the year. But what are you seeing from their defense? And I guess what's the confidence from the offense when you have so many guys going down on defense that you're not allowed to practice against guys like Botello, Bubakar, and Morrison?
Yeah, I think, first off, Georgia Tech's defense, I think, is very well coached. They're very disciplined in how they play. They play like their hair's on fire. They look excited to be part of that defensive unit. They play very hard. So it's a really, really solid challenge for our offensive unit this week headed into the game. And then, obviously practice-wise, we're blessed, and I think the the dividends that have taken place on the recruiting end of things. Yeah, we're missing some key pieces, but there's been some guys that have been able to step into those roles, and we still got really good players to work against every day.
Coach, what's kind of allowed Leonard Moore to ascend through fall camp and everything, despite not being like an early enrollee?
It's a great question. I would say maturity is the first thing that jumps out. He athletically, he's long, he's strong, he shows up in the run game. But I could probably go get a dozen kids that can do that. But his maturity, his intellect, his want to, film study, preparation, getting with Mick extra, doing all the little things, and earning the trust too of the guys around you. I think after the Louisville game, he earned the trust of everybody in the defense, and certainly, the guys that aren't defensive backs, the guys in the front seven, said, okay, this guy was ready for his moment, and so he'll be ready, and we're excited about him.
And then how quickly did that maturity was that apparent to you once he got to campus?
No doubt. Once he got to campus, you just felt like he was a very serious kid, comes from a great family, and just really smart kid, no nonsense, wants to get better, can see the big picture, understands what Notre Dame can do for him, and trying to utilize everything that he can get out of this education and this experience. And he's just you love kids like that because they have a big picture. They're kind of worldly in that sense, and he's got gratitude. He's unselfish. He's accountable. And those are all, listen to the things I've said in just the last 90 seconds about that young man. So he's a blessing to have, and really excited about his opportunity moving forward.
And then how do you expedite the learning process for a guy like Carson with it being in season right now?
Yeah, just try to make it small. I was just saying upstairs, just, narrow your focus and try to make it small. And your time's coming. And, you're not in control of when your time comes. You're in control of whether or not you're, ready for that opportunity, whether you're prepared, whether you've made the unselfish decisions, whether you've given certain things up. And those are all the challenges right now that he and a lot of his peers are in the same situation face this time of year. They got to get ready to go, and there has to be urgency.
Coach, obviously, it's the next man up. Kind of a two-part question. What do you say? What are the conversations with Mickens and Biagi, and then I guess what are those conversations with Carson Hobbs and the rest of that DB room as well, just to be ready, or just to kind of be in the moment.
Yeah, it's time to get ready. Yeah, it's time to get ready. Leonard's time came. He was ready. There's going to be someone next. Obviously Kingston, Bryce. I'm sure Gabe thought, the way it shook out last week, Gabe thought, well, I'll be the fifth tackle and I'll kind of ease into it. Well, guess what? All of a sudden, Jason's out and you're in the rotation. So there's another guy. So I can go on and on. Junior, how he's responded to his opportunity, man. He's playing, really, really well right now. And so he was ready. So it's not going to be the last time someone gets thrust into an opportunity and at the same time gets thrust in a situation that we, coaches, teammates, team, all of us are going to need him to execute accordingly.
I know you all are probably doing first and second downs like you normally do.
Yeah.
What's the message this point in the week when you got going to face a Georgia Tech team, you don't know what quarterback you want to get? Yeah.
Well, I have respect for both quarterbacks. Number 5, I 251 reps. I've watched him. And obviously number 10 has been the starter. So either one can run the offense, but, like the players, we said today, just turn on the film. 2 and 8 on the perimeter. I think they're probably going to get 85 back at tight end. 44 is doing a nice job there as a big tight end and a guy who can move people. 9 is the move guy, and he's a matchup problem. The running backs have done a really great job, and all you have to do is turn on the film. 200 yards a game rushing, 5 something a carry, 450 yards of offense. It's a heck of a challenge They test you in a number of ways pre-snap, motion, tempo, formationing. They're really, really well coached, and they don't beat themselves. They protect the football. They make you tackle well, especially in space. So a lot of eye-catching, instances when you turn on them tape.
Let's do one more. The production of Rylie Mills, Howard Cross last game.
Yep.
What confidence and how much confidence does that give you going into the second half of the season?
Yeah, I think the message that they could probably share is, I texted Rylie, said I thought this was your best week in terms of get off pad level, hands, all those things. I had a conversation with Howard Thursday and Friday, and he couldn't hold himself back in terms of, he said he was feeling good, and he worked on a couple things and he's ready to go. So both those guys produced at a high level. We needed it last week against a team that ran the ball 40 times the previous week. So we knew we were going to get that run game. And that run game, bled into third down. So those guys came up big. They're going to continue to come up big, and we need them. This is a great challenge for our defense, especially those guys up front.
Coach, if Mitch isn't able to go this week, is it likely that you go with the same rules that you went with on Saturday?
It's something that we're looking at every single day, and feel confident in all three of those other kickers, and we definitely feel like by Saturday we'll have the right plan in terms of getting the guys in the right spots, and whoever we send out there, we have confidence that they're gonna get the job done.
And then how beneficial is it that Zach and Eric have kicked in games before?
Yeah, I think it's great. All three of them actually have, and so that's what's positive is we wanted to always make sure when we can get guys in the game, get guys reps, and so I think that's critical. And but at the end of the day, it's a new game. It's one play, and that's when they go out. We want them to execute.
And then with Luke Talich, he obviously has a role in special teams, but what's his development at the safety position kind of been like this fall?
I think he's done a good job. Coach Golden, Coach Mickens have done a great job in that regards, and so in terms of special teams play, he's been tremendous, and so when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, I think he's doing all the right things, and anything else other than that, I'll let Coach Golden always comment on.
Marty, when you guys got the news about Ben Morrison, I guess what was that gas? Did you take a breath there, or beat? What was the reaction, your natural reaction in that moment?
I thought you'd have all your gloves and hat on and stuff from Saturday, but no, I mean it was something that we felt like it's you hate it for him, you hate it. I think everybody, the players were hated for him, but he was definitely it was definitely something that they rallied around and bounced back. That's what's so great about this team and this brotherhood is definitely being confident and understanding that the next guy's got to get ready. But BMO will bounce right back and have full confidence in that.
What's the conversations like with Coach Mickens, Coach Golden? I asked Golden the same question. What's the conversation like with him in that moment to say, you got the guys ready, Carson and Leonard, and they're ready to go? And this happened in the second half of the season. What's the conversation?
Yeah, I mean, again, I'll defer those to Coach Golden and Coach Mick, but in that regards, we expect whoever we put in is going to be able to play and contribute.
With Mitch Jeter kind of being day to day, I guess right now, what's the preparation like to be able to play inside of Mercedes-Benz Stadium, that type of atmosphere, that setting? We don't know if the room is open or closed that day, but
I think, the good part is all three of those guys, like I said, have been able to play and perform. If Mitch is able to, come back and perform, in this game, then it gives us an opportunity to know, okay, all the guys have played. The setting is what it is, and so it's something we're excited about. And now we just got to know that whoever we put out there, we're going to send them out there and expect them to get the job done, just like at any other position.
Bo, can you take us through that long catch, and is that a play that you guys have been kind of setting up throughout the day?
Yeah, for sure. It was a play that actually Faison scored on last year versus Stanford. Exact same play. We had practiced it a whole lot during the week, and once we called it, I was ready for that one for sure. It was hold on, I just finished doing fumble stuff. trying to catch my breath. But it was pretty good, man. Just, going out there, calling a play that we've ran before, recognizing it and things like that. It was definitely one for the money.
And then it looked like you and Jay Sean had some competitive battles. I guess what was
Yes,
that
sir.
like facing another Bosco guy?
Yeah, it was cool, man, just seeing a younger guy, at the level that I'm at, succeeding, man. He's a baller. He's definitely physical in the run game, pass game, all the above. He has it all for sure, and it was just great seeing another Bosco brother at another Power 5 school balling out for sure.
Beaux, this matchup against Georgia Tech, man.
Yeah.
I guess how do you think the first 6 games have prepared you for maybe some tough competition and first true road game since A&M?
Yeah, for sure. I think our schedule so far has set us up well for a game like this. We've been on the road before, one of the biggest stages. We've played great DBs as a core. We've played a great defense already with a few of the teams that we've played already. So I feel like as long as we execute, recognize things that we see in practice, we'll be just fine.
What are you seeing different from Rylie Leonard as of late? He talked about during the bye week that he was able to just kind of relax and say, I'm gonna go home to Alabama. When I get back, I'm able to just throw the ball and air it out, man. Have you seen that switch clicking him?
Yeah, for sure. It feels like he's back to playing like his natural self, man, just back there with poise and relax, having fun out there is the main thing. First couple of games, we all had to just adjust to a different offense and get used to the ins and outs of a game and things like that. But I feel like he's definitely relaxed, more comfortable and things like that for sure.
I'm assuming that maybe Morrison probably went up against just about every receiver, but losing him, what's the blow to the offense as far as just being able to compete and practice against a guy of that caliber?
Oh man, we're gonna miss BMO for sure. Especially me, I went against BMO. He was the boundary corner for us in practice. I went against him every single day, but I feel like guys like Leonard Moore, Carson, they stepping up. They're going to step up, and they're stepping up right now, man. It's just I don't feel like we're losing much, man. It's still going to be competitive, especially in practice, in the games. Those young guys are going to ball out. They've shown myself and the team a whole lot since they've been here, so it's going to be great.
One more. We've asked Golden about this, but you and Chris Mitchell being transfer guys, to get the ball rolling a little late, how do you all compartmentalize on a team like this, knowing that, okay, you got to adjust to new offense, the quarterback got to adjust as well, and then you guys may not be the forefront of the offense, in any game?
Oh, man, I just say you got to be a team player at some point, man. Like, coming in as a transfer, you got to adapt to, the culture here, the coaches, the scheme, game plan, everything like that. It takes a lot of patience, which Chris and I have, man, and we want to see the team succeed at the end of the day.
Max, what was kind of the process of ending up at Notre Dame?
So, leaving Colgate, I knew, I wanted to elevate my game and try to play at the highest level possible. And so, I entered the transfer portal upon the end of my senior year, and I got a lot of love from FCS schools, and I kind of took it upon myself, and with a few reach outs from some FBS schools, Power Fives. Once I knew there was a little bit of interest, I knew I wanted to go all in and play at the highest level possible. And once Notre Dame kind of became an opportunity, I knew that's what I wanted. So just to have the opportunity to play football and contribute to what we hope to be a national championship season is all I could have asked for.
And then the experience at Notre Dame so far, has it kind of met or exceeded your expectations, or what's that just kind of been like for you?
Yeah, it's definitely from the jump. I knew I personally wasn't going to be satisfied if I wasn't contributing. So it's just I've been super blessed to just have the opportunity to come out every Saturday and just be on the field and compete and contribute to the success of this team. So that's yes, it's lived up to my expectations. Every week I'm hoping for my role to increase and my impact to be greater and greater. But up to this point, I'm competing and the Irish will win So that's all you can ask for.
And then, did you have like a background at DB at all, or is that
Um,
something that you're kind of learning on the
Yeah,
fly?
definitely learning on the fly. I played both ways in high school, so that's as far as my defensive back experience goes. But yeah, just I see myself as a pretty good athlete, so I was able to, I'm not as fine-tuned as some of these other guys, but I compete, and every day I'm working to get better at it. So yeah, it's been fun.
Max, when did you know that you gained the trust of this coaching staff to be that guy on special teams?
Yeah, throughout the summer it was a lot of working with Coach Landau and his staff, and I knew from the jump kind of the progression that I would have to take to be a contributor and play on Saturdays would be, kind of become that weight room warrior and doing super well, and all the training that we did this summer, gaining the trust of Coach Landau and his staff, and having them, put in good words for me. And then, we would have some walkthroughs throughout the summer, and I was pretty adamant on reaching out and staying in contact with the coaches, Coach Biagi and Coach Mickens, just showing them, that I'm here, I care, I'm here to play, like I want to compete. And then, from the jump, just showing my knowledge of the game, and from day one that they could trust me I knew the defense and knew what I was doing on special teams, and just showing that I could be reliable. And I just knew that, that would be my edge and my way in, and just showing that you can trust me and I know what I'm doing.
Does
So
it feel good to kind of feel like it paid off? It's only halfway through the season. I guess what's the mentality there at this point in the season?
Yeah, I'm definitely, listen, defensive back is kind of new. I'm still working on, potentially trying to get some more snaps there, but I'm touching the football on Saturdays, which is, more than I could have asked for. So, am I satisfied with my role? Never, right? So just like I said, I just want to keep elevating and each week just continue to progress and contribute more and more to this team's success.
Jayden, can you kind of take us through the touchdown and just kind of how that came to fruition?
It was just RPO play. Rylie had the option to run, pass option. He chose to pass it. We just like to match up, and we had seen on film that those throws were really good in the red zone.
And then it seemed like you guys ran a little bit more RPO on Saturday. What's kind of the next step for the offense at this point?
I feel like we just really clicked, I would say, than we have in the past. It starts with, our O-line doing such a good job in the run and pass game. So, we can have the, our advantage when both sides run and pass are clicking, and then, Rylie trusting us and us making plays. So I feel like on all facets of the ball, we were just clicking.
And then a year after kind of battling a nagging injury, it seems like you're in pretty good health. I guess what's that kind of been like for you?
I can't complain. I'm feeling great. Just able to be out there, give it my full 100% to my brothers and this team. So, I'm definitely thankful to the man above for allowing me to be in this position I am, and just, excited to, get out there with my boys again.
I want to know about the touchdown celebration, man. Personally, what was that like?
It was good. We were joking. Me and the White House, there's this video online of Kai Sinet. He's like a famous streamer, and he did this little "Give Me the Goal" celebration, and we said we were going to do it, and I did it.
What's it like, man, to see the guys, not only yourself as a veteran here, but see Beaux and Chris Mitchell getting their shine as well? How much of that is a testament to maybe Rylie kind of just letting us hear that a little bit?
Yeah, man, I love it. Just seeing us ball out, no matter who it is, whether it's KK, young guy, Jordan, like you said, Beaux, Creasy, or Jayden Harrison. So just to see all of us, get the ball. I think I forgot JG, Dion, Micah, whatever. Just to see the ball in everybody's hands, I love it. That's why I play receiver, just for times like this. Because, sometimes it can suck, if you're just, not getting the rock or things aren't clicking. But, we're in a good position. I think everybody's just excited for what, we can do.
And speaking of what you can do, what do you think you can do and expectations to do against Georgia Tech and not just obviously go out there and win, but how do you do it?
They're a great team. I think they're 5-2. First 5-2 start in a while for them. They have a good offense, good run game. So for us, it's going to be important for capitalizing on each possession. I think they held FSU to only like 7 possessions, I think, in the game in Ireland. So, they want to control the game almost like a Navy or Army type. So it's just important for us to capitalize each time we get the ball, almost like what we did in Stanford, I guess, except for that first possession we had. So just trying to, improve from the Stanford game and focus, really nail down the game plan we have this week is very important.
And going to Georgia, where you from, anything, exciting about going back home and, how much family you going to have coming out?
Man, I can't wait to be back in the crib. I was telling them up there, I think it's like 16-minute drive away from my school, Pace Academy, just to get back down there, see the fam. I have like at least 10 or 12 immediate family members that I got tickets for, and then other people be in the stands. Just being back in the South, man. I miss the South, I miss the food, miss my family. A little brother gets to see me. Older brother just had a baby, so I get to see her. Just the family aspect that will help down there while I'm playing in the Falcon Stadium. I just can't wait. It's a blessing. That's why I come to Notre Dame for games like this, honestly.
Rylie, do you feel any extra pressure to get pressure on the quarterback now that the secondary is kind of dealing with some injuries and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think with our defense, the big thing is we want to affect them as much as we can with our defensive line. So I think there's no pressure. It's really been there all season in terms of we have to do our job effectively, and I think everyone on that defensive line knows that if we want to make an impact in the game, we got to get home and get to the quarterback.
And then what's it like when you and Howard are just causing pure chaos all afternoon on Saturday like you guys did on Saturday against Stanford?
It's fun. I'm a fan of it. I think we should keep going with it. No, but I think it's good. I think it's just playing at that level is something that we could see we could play at, and ultimately it just comes down. That's how we want to play every time we step on the field. So we'll just keep that as a standard, and we know we have more we can put in. And you watch that game, you're like, I think we could have got 2 or 3 more. So I think you can't get complacent.
And then what does Gabe Rubio kind of bring to the defensive line room?
Yeah, Gabe's a guy that he goes in there. It's literally just like a batting ram. You're gonna go in and there's gonna be 4 people on the ground. Whatever gap he's in, he's going. But it's great because he's a guy who's been around the program a lot, and he's definitely got a lot of leadership that he brings to the table. So I think especially for the younger guys like Armel and Devin Houston and Bryce, they need to talk and learn from someone like him. It's really invaluable.
Rylie, I got my question.
You're good.
In this game against Georgia Tech, you don't know who the quarterback is, whether it's Haynes or the backup. I guess you're any differently in this scenario?
Yeah, definitely you want to be ready for both. I think same with Stanford. We knew they can kind of be flip flopping between quarterbacks, but ultimately I think it comes down to just our game plan and executing it. And that's one thing I'm really proud of we did on Saturday against Stanford is that all levels of the team, offense, defense, special teams, we went out there and executed. So it really comes down to doing our job and staying confident in our abilities.
What did you see in Georgia Tech, you and Howard, that said we could get more? Obviously, outside of the expectations to get to the quarterback to get home, what did you see technique-wise that allowed you guys to have that advantage that you did?
At Stanford?
Against Stanford.
Yeah, I think technique-wise, I think it's just I talk with Wash, but it's you just got to run through someone's face sometimes, and it's easy to be hey, if he does this, do that, do this, that. But at the end of the day, when Howard goes full speed and he goes, hey, I'm going to be in the A gap, or I go, hey, I'm going to run to the B gap, you got to block me. I think it's pretty tough when we put our minds to it. So I think we just got to keep that going and just kind of leap forward off that as we go into Georgia Tech.
When you got that young wrecking crew behind you of linebackers, man, what's it like to see Bowen and KBA, those guys back there, along with Jack Kaiser and Jayden?
Yeah, I think it just speaks to the experience on our defense, but the ability of guys to come in and make plays. Kingston, dude flies around, makes plays. I'll just look over and he's blowing someone's head off. Drake is just a super smart guy, and he goes in, makes great plays. And you have, Jack who's been there a little longer, but, I feel like it's just we have waves and waves of guys, which is really just a credit to the defensive line room and Coach Bull and Coach Golden for just getting the guys ready and making sure everyone's, set on the game plan.